most people have probably heard by now that there's this safe wash method. They call it a 2-bucket method. We do use 2 buckets, but we use 1 bucket for wheels and tires and 1 bucket for our wash towels. We don't actually use a 2 wash bucket method or a 1 rinse, 1 wash, and then 1 tire. We don't do that, and there's kind of reasons for that, and I'm gonna show through this video why we don't do that. But one of the major factors we don't do that is contamination. So the second part of it is for speed of washing the car. I'm going to quickly go through showing you how we do this. First, I'm going to show you the products that we use and the equipment we use and exactly how we lay it up. Okay, so that's next up. Then I'm going to show you the actual wash process. All right, so here is our products and that we use for washing the vehicle. Drying the vehicle, we have 3 ways of doing the drying the vehicle, and I'll show you that next after this. But so over here we have our wash bucket, and these are where our towels go, and we have 3. So we have 3 towels for the car. It's coming in next. Throw those in there, 1, 2, 3, and these are quite nice and soft. Getting them in there, get them soaking. And we use Extreme Solutions suds for our soap, both in the wash bucket as well as our foam cannon. We use this to help us get our pre-wash on. And depending on the vehicle and the service our client is getting, this bottle will either do 1 vehicle or it'll do 4 vehicles, depending on the service we're providing. So if it's a customer's coming in who has a polished car that we're maintaining, a car that's ceramic coated, or PPF, and we're just trying to take care of it really well, this will probably do just that 1 car, because we'll pre-soak it, let it soak with this, let it rinse, soak it again, then wash it, depending on the car, and sometimes clay bar. Okay, so over here we have our tire bucket. Inside we have some degreaser and wheel cleaner. We have 1 wheel, I use a towel, but we use this little hand mitt just to get the hard stuff off. 1 lug nut brush. 1 small wheel woolly. This helps us get in and behind the wheel so that we can really clean the barrel out. And we have a larger version for bigger wheels or deeper wheel wells. We also have a wheel well brush, and we have a actual wheel brush. We also have our brush for applying the VRT to the engine bay plastics, and then we have our engine bay brush, but then we also have our tire shine and tire shine applicator brush. And they all comes in 3 choices. You have a satin finish, a gloss finish, and then well, I call it a ludicrous finish. It's just unreal. The gloss of it is insane. Doesn't even look real. Okay, so we have a 911 Targa that's in for our wash. This is also a regular client of ours, extremely dusty and dirty. You can see how dirty our wheels are right now. Wipe the dust off that there. So we're going to do our best here to take care of this car. Bubbles! First up, we're going to take the time to do a soft pre-rinse to try and soak the car a little bit, get the dirt that's loose off the car, and then help soak and loosen the dirt that's on the car. We'll do a soft rinse, and then we'll soak it with the foam bath. While it's soaking with the foam bath, that's when we'll begin doing our tires. Here we begin by just rinsing off the soap and then soaking the wheel in iron remover, followed by a tire cleaner. we use an APC or degreaser depending on how dirty the tire is. In this case, an APC, as the wheels are not that dirty. We treat these wheels regularly. While the iron remover and APC are soaking in, we'll then clean the wheel well with our wheel well brush, and then we'll follow up by doing our tire brush and clean the rubber as best as we can. Next up is our wheel woolly. I'm using a large one, and we're going to get in behind the spokes of the wheel and then clean the inner barrel. For this case, we also use our lug nut brush, just a little detailing brush that we use specifically for lug nuts to get in and around the lug nuts to clean out the brake dust that builds up in there. Once I'm done with the lug nuts, I'll grab my wash mitt, and I'll use this wash mitt. It's a microfiber wash mitt to clean the rest of the rim. Get it in behind the spokes, all along the edge line, just to make sure I don't miss anything that the wheel woolly didn't get, or chemical decon couldn't do. So this is just a final touch before moving on to the next phase. The next step now is to rinse off the rim, the wheel, and then the whole car. The idea of this is now that the soap has had time to soak on the car and slowly bring the dirt off the car, we can now rinse it before laying down another foundation of snow foam before we begin the contact wash. Once we're done rinsing the car off, we're going to spray onto the vehicle now a iron decontamination before we rinse that off and move on to the snow foam. This is just to assist removing any embedded particles on the vehicle. Next up is now laying down our foundation of snow foam before we begin our hand wash. This snow foam is to help create a barrier of lubrication, which makes it easier for us to glide across the car and prevent scratching on the car if we do pick up dirt. You'll notice that I take the time to fold the towel into 4. So I fold it in half twice, and then I begin my wash with one side of that towel, working the top down. So I work from the roof to the windows, flip the towel over to the side, use that on the hood, unfold the towel, use that on another body panel. This way we are washing top down, and we're continuously changing the towel side so that every time we go to a new panel, it's a fresh, clean part of the towel. Trying to pay attention to my washing technique, I always do my best to make straight line passes. If you've ever seen a car that's been hand washed or gone through a touch wash, car wash, and you park it in the sun, you see all those swirl lines. Those swirl lines are indicative from the style of washing. So straight lines on a car are harder to see than circular lines. So even when we wash a car from top down, we do our best to do it in straight lines. So the amount of time that passed between me doing the hood, the windows, the roof, and that driver's side, the passenger side soap has basically ran off and or dried up. So before I begin washing it, I'm going to lay down another layer of snow foam. Again, this idea is to help lubricate the surface area so that it reduces or helps reduce any potential scuffing or scratches while washing the vehicle. More lubrication is always a good thing. Another added benefit to using snow foam is it gives you a visual aid to see where you have or have not touched with your washcloth in the process, because you're physically removing that soap as you go. Once I'm done the hand washing portion, I now begin the rinse cycle, and it's pretty straightforward as everything else, except for I do try to focus my hardest on rinsing top down. Again, this just kind of helps aid bring the soap from the top down. Instead of going all wild and just spraying the car until it's clean, I do focus on bringing it from top down to help aid with the runoff of the water.
You can see here, now that we're done our wash, all of our dirty towels are hanging on the edge of the bucket. This does two things for us. It allows us to know that those towels are dirty, but it also tells me that when I reach into the bucket, any towel I grab in the bucket will be a fresh, clean towel. It will not have been used, because our guys, myself, my team, will never put a dirty towel back in that bucket. So our two bucket method is one wash bucket, one tire bucket. We don't use a rinse bucket. There's no point. You're still going to get dirt transferring from the rinse bucket into your soap bucket. This way, 100%, every towel is fresh and clean.
Alright, so the last thing to do on this point is to finish the drying and then tire shine. So drying a vehicle can be done in a couple of ways. You can do it with the air gun, but it's typically not to be 100%. You can use towels. If so, I would suggest using Ultra Plush Woolly Mammoths, and they are only used for when we're just drying a car. If there's nothing else being done to it, no topper, no polishing, this is what we use it for. This is for drying a car, and only a car. And then in this case, I could use a blower, and then follow up and finish up with other towels. With other towels. So I can take a plush microfiber towel. This is called a happy ending. Yeah, happy ending edgeless towel, I think it is. And I'll use this to apply a drying aid, which is also a topper. This is Art to Shine's graphene detailer. They claim 3 months on the bottle. I've seen this stuff last 6 months, provided that, I understand it does say you should dilute it 1 to 10. I don't. I get one towel that's damp, one towel that's dry. I put it into a bottle and I dilute it 1 to 3. The car is going to be somewhat wet already. I got a damp towel.
The goal here is to blow dry the car, not to 100%, but to try and get all the water out of the crevice areas, the body lines, the mirror, the door handles, off the roof. This way the car doesn't drip after it leaves. The car is coated, so most of the water will come off, which is why I'm going to make sure that my application towel, when I apply the Art to Shine, will be more wet than it would be damp. With the Art to Shine, I apply 1 spray per body panel, maybe 2 depending on how big the area is, but then I spread it out with the damp towel as thoroughly as I can until the product is less visually visible. Then I'll follow up with a dry towel and buff to a shine. Last but not least, I do want to take care of the windows inside and outside and make sure I take care of the door jambs, dry them up. The last thing I want is a client to open the car up and find water dripping out of the door areas or see that the windows weren't clean. So it's just a nice little thing to make sure that those areas are done as well. And then the final touch for this service would be the wheels and tires. Again, we are going to apply a ceramic infused tire dressing. By Fireball, it's their gloss version. We use a little bit of a brush to help apply it, get it on. It gets into the crevice a little bit easier. The Fireball Tire Shine is one of our favorites, if not one of the best ones on the market in our opinion. And there you go. That is our method of the safe hand wash procedure. This is more of a premium style wash. It does take on average about a half hour to an hour depending on the vehicle size. and it also depends on the customer's desire on the wheel finishing and or a topper. So average for us 30 minutes. Some clients we see up to an hour. Again, depends on the topper they want on it. It depends on the tire shine they want on there. But if you're looking for a safe wash method for your vehicle, this is our preferred method. You can find a detailed breakdown of step-by-step information regarding this safe wash procedure on our website underneath our blogs section. We list it there step by step, including products that you could use. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Please like, share, and leave a comment.